another episode of Team Stevens TV Talk. Today we want to bring to you an incident that's in the news right now, and it's an incident that we hear about all too often. Police brutality. It comes out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, and it involves a black man and white officers.
So this incident involves a 21-year-old black man named Demetrius Hollins. Now, the video that was released initially shows Demetrius Hollins on the ground already in handcuffs. So when Officer McDonald arrives on the scene, he runs up to Demetrius and stomps him in the head. He's not resisting arrest. We don't know if he was prior to this, but at this point, it's clear that he's not resisting arrest. He's handcuffed and he's on the ground. And Officer McDonald runs up and stomps him in the head. And then they proceed to try to arrest him.
Right. So McDonald is the actual backup officer. So He comes up on the scene. He doesn't know what's going on. And his initial reaction is to stomp the man in the head. Where they do that at?
Right. All he knows at this point is that the other officer has called for backup. So there's no justification for why he came up and stomped the man in the head. When the video was released, swift action was taken against McDonald, and he was pretty much fired immediately. Now, a second video surfaced that shows the arresting officer, Officer Bongiovanni, who is a supervisor, pulling Demetrius out of his vehicle. He gets out of the vehicle with his hands up, and then Officer Bongiovanni gives him a bolo to the face, which is like a punch followed by the elbow.
Now, mind you, Demetrius was pulled over for a traffic stop. They said that he was driving without a signal. He crossed lanes without a signal.
No license plate.
And I think his back light was out. Even though he was pulled over for a traffic stop, who cares? That does not justify this excessive force.
Right. Now, in the police report, it says that Bongiovanni said that he had a previous encounter with Demetrius and he reached for a gun before. We don't know if that's true or not. It could be true. Now, in this one, he also said that he feared for his life, like they always say.
They always say that.
They always say that.
Come on now.
That Demetrius turned to either reach for something or he was trying to drive away. Now, the video doesn't show that. Now, he said that in the police report. Whether any of that happened or not, we can't be 100% sure. But from the video, it doesn't look like that's what happened. It looks like the boy was getting out the car with his hands up, and then he just gets assaulted, basically. And thank goodness somebody was videotaping it. There's cameras everywhere now. You're just not going to be able to get away with stuff like this anymore. So they immediately fired him too, because, like I said, he's a supervisor and he lied in his police report. Now, no criminal charges have been pressed against either one of them at this time.
But there is an ongoing investigation.
Right. But I feel like it should be a felony for them to lie in the police report, because you're being paid by the taxpayers. Me and you and everybody else that got a job is paying for their salary. So that means that they should be accountable for their actions. So if you lie in a police report, you should go to jail.
Exactly.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Especially a blatant lie, So let's talk about this whole Black Lives Matter thing, because I feel like some people have it misunderstood. When black people start saying Black Lives Matter, other people say all lives matter.
All lives matter. Blue lives matter. That's not what we're saying.
When we have to feel like we forced to say Black Lives Matter, is because when incidents like this happen, and usually nothing happens to the police, it makes us feel like our lives don't matter. That's why we take to the streets and scream Black Lives Matter, to let y'all know that they do, and something needs to happen with these incidents. Now, it may seem some of the Black Lives Matter movement, I can't agree with 100% of the things that they've done, but it's in its infancy. But I think that it's an organization that we need.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, like Chris stated, the officers were fired. Both officers were fired. And there is an ongoing investigation to see if charges will be filed. So we'll just have to follow this story to see where it kind of goes. We definitely think that something needs to be done. This is happening way too often,
right,
and it just needs to stop.
Right. And, you know, the whole thing about them saying they fear for their life, look, I wouldn't want to be a cop. It's a hard job. Like, I don't have the greatest judgment when it comes to ascertaining if my life is in danger or not.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to have to do it every day because I might be the shot everybody.
Right.
So...
And we have nothing against the police.
Right.
I have a lot of friends that are police officers, and kudos to you guys for doing a great job. But it's those officers out there that make a lot of the good officers look bad.
Right. And the officers that see something wrong and don't say anything, you're just as guilty as the officer that's committing a crime.
Right.
You know, now... I feel like all cops should wear body cameras at this point. I mean, it's 2017. Everybody got a camera in their pocket. Why should the police not have one across their chest in every department, everywhere? It not only protects us, but it protects the officer too, because if somebody really is resisting or acting crazy, it will all be on videotape. But far too often, like in the Michael Brown incident, we don't have video of what happened. Now, look, I've never been shot before. Thank God. But in that incident, Michael Brown allegedly was running away, got shot, stopped and put his hands up, then turned around and somehow turned into the Incredible Hulk and charged at the person who just shot him to get some more bullets in his ass. Now, that just doesn't make sense to me. We don't have video to show what happened then, but right. I would put my life on that it didn't go down exactly like he said it did. Michael Brown is no longer here to tell his side of the story, so we don't know. Thank God this guy is still alive, because they could have killed him, and if there was no video, they could have wrote down whatever they wanted in the police report. So, body cams for everybody, and I think that a lot of these problems will start to go away. If you lie on your police report, felony. Your body cam not working for some reason.
Felony.
Maybe not felony. No. But something needs to happen.
Right.
Like, you know, and not just a slap on the wrist. It's too many slaps on the wrist going around. So that's all I got to say about it.
Right. Okay, guys. So that about sums up this episode of Team Stevens TV Talk. We will follow up with you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And until next time, peace.